What is up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. What is going on? Good morning, guys. Welcome to a morning stream. Just getting ready for everything. Hope you guys are having a great week. Looks like it's Friday. So we are coming up early this morning, obviously, because we have unemployment numbers coming out today in the U.S. Could be, I'm predicting it's really a big nothing burger, but could be something, a little bit more interesting for today, given what the Feds and us literally coming, real close to having some kind of a Fed reduction and interest rates coming up possibly in September, like we've been calling it. So what's going on, TJ? I don't mean to mispronounce your name, brother. Is it Yazrael? Yazrael? What's going on, man? Peace to the family, too. I appreciate the kind words. I do. Just giving everybody a few minutes to trickle in. I know it is early in the morning. I know I'm going to get some messages from people that are in California like, bro, Crip, it's 4 o'clock in the morning here. The unemployment numbers are going to be popping up around 8:30. So in about 40 minutes from now. So we're going to do our regular show. We're going to go over a couple of things with the markets. If you guys want to look at some projects, all that good stuff. We'll have some good articles on why the market is possibly going up and why the market has been stagnant and going down as well. It's kind of a tug of war out there right now, and who is going to win? That's going to be the big question there, guys. So make sure you guys slap those likes. If you're new here, make sure you guys hit those subscribes, or hit the subscribe one time. Don't do it plural, like I said. We normally go live during the weekdays about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, unless we have mornings like this where it's an FOMC meeting, unemployment numbers, anything big that's coming out in the morning, we'll usually do a morning stream as well. And then on the weekends, we usually have midday streams as well. We try to stream every day, but most of the time about 6 times a week. So make sure you guys hit those likes, hit those subscribes. We have a beautiful community. You guys can see over 6,000 people, and I try to keep that hopium while the markets are down, right? But I also try to keep it real with you guys. So let's get right into it. So let's just jump into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now is 64,600. You guys can see yesterday we did drop down to about 62,200. Wasn't looking the best, and then out of nowhere, looks like she finally found a bottom, not at any pivotal spot that was really a spot for some support or resistance in between these two support levels of 63.4. And then I was thinking that we were probably going to come down to 61.6, but we didn't make it all the way down there. And you can see we bounced, and Bitcoin actually ran. I mean, we went from 62 last night, 62.2, all the way up to 65.6. That's a decent move for Bitcoin. I mean, in a bull market, it's not much. I told you guys this months ago when we were getting into a bull market. You're going to see Bitcoin some days fluctuate $5,000 to $10,000 on a daily basis, right? Because there's just a lot of volume coming in and out. So that's exactly what we saw yesterday. So we saw that those dramatic moves, but since then we have cooled off a little bit, given the uncertainty of the numbers today, but also a couple other things that are going on that we're going to talk about, right? That we're going to talk about, that some of them necessarily aren't directed into crypto, but it is something that could affect crypto as it's going on. So let's see here. TJ said the local high looks like it hit the 236. I don't know what, I don't have a fib retracement on my Bitcoin chart, to be honest. I don't, because I have so many other support and resistance levels right here that I took my fib retracement. It was just too much, bro. It was like looking at a chart that had like 1,000 different lines on it. So it was just too much. But you can see, if you're looking at, if this is your 236 right here at the 64.9, we've been calling this for months, right? As far as 64.9 being a big support or resistance level. And you can see we literally came down, broke below, and look where we hit our head so far, exactly on the 64.9 right there, finding that resistance. So right now we are looking at the 2-hour chart right now, and this is going to be your 20-day SMA simple moving average, and you can see that it's trying to find that support above the 20, but it's also finding in between, hitting its head at this 64.9. So Bitcoin, we're definitely not out of the woods, right? Don't get faked out and think that we're about to just flip over and Bitcoin's running back up to 70K. I mean, you guys saw when we did run up to 70K, We hit it very briefly and immediately got rejected, and we've been on a downward move since then, right? So Solana right now, kind of the same thing. Beautiful little W pattern that's forming right here with Solana. Definitely looking decent. Little double bottom right here, looking like she wants to run. She really is just like setting up to pounce, right? We're going to have to see how these numbers come out. So for unemployment today, what we're looking for is forecast to be at about 4.1%. Previous was at 4.1%. So what are we going to see if we see a rally? What are we going to see if what can be negative for today's numbers? Well, 4.1 could be just a baseline. 4.2 going higher in unemployment, unfortunately, is going to be something that will make the markets react positively, right? If it does come out to where, let's just say, unemployment possibly drops for whatever reason and goes down to like 4% or anything below, which I don't believe that's going to happen, that could cause some kind of a negative move in the markets. Right now, people are anticipating 4.1 or 4.2 is what I've been hearing a lot of analysts speaking about. So we'll see how this plays out. That those numbers are coming out in a little over 30 minutes from now, and we will be live when they do to see what the markets are doing and why they're reacting the way they are, right? Looking at the bubbles for the day, obviously you can see majority of the bubbles in the top 100 are still in the red. They're still in the red right now. You have a few other projects like Helium, PopCat, and Mantra that are up slightly, right? And we have Arweave Arweave's actually been having a decent week, believe it or not. And ICP's up about 1.5% right now, but really majority of the market is down. You can look for the hour. BONK's up 1%, nothing too crazy. For the week, this kind of gives you a clear view of what we've been dealing with all week. A lot of projects are down 15-20% still. Arweave, like I said, it's having a decent week. For this week, up 16.7%. Caspa's up technically 8%, and you have Bitcoin Cash, for whatever reason, is up 8%. So you guys can see, been kind of blood on the streets. Nothing too crazy though. I told you guys altcoins have been holding pretty strong. Bitcoin's been having some turbulence. Alts, I feel like they have gone down obviously, but they haven't crashed like we normally would see. If Bitcoin is down for the week, 5 or 10%, you would see alts down 20-30%. A lot of them are only down 15%, if that. Some of them are actually up. That's the crazy thing. So let's jump in real quick. I want to look at the fear and greed index. Look at this. We've jumped back into neutral on 58. This right here, guys, basically is telling you that the market is neutral right now in regards to being bearish or bullish. They're kind of almost, it's still leaning towards more bullish, but you can see that it's getting back into that even where a lot of people are starting to turn bearish, whether it's short-term or long-term, starting to go bearish. A lot of that greed is basically going away where everybody's like, we're going straight to the moon right now. A lot of people are kind of like, well, there might be a little bit more turbulence, or we might see some short-term downward movement or continuation in the downward movement. And this is what I've been warning you guys for the last, I feel like for the last few weeks. I've been telling you guys that we are, not that I was like for sure certain we're heading down, but I was like, it looks like the charts are telling us that we have a little bit of some downward movement that we need to get out of the system. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. So let's jump in to what is going on. Why is Bitcoin rallying as of yesterday, as of today? Well, a couple things, but this is a big thing that I haven't seen anybody talk about. Bank of England. Bank of England 0.25% rate cut stirs potential Bitcoin breakout. So England just reduced their interest rates by 0.25%. That's what we're going to do here in the States in September. I've been calling this for how long, guys? Months now. They're basically going to do the same thing. England was able to do it now. So I'm sure all these big governments, they all talk, right? Obviously they all talk, but I'm sure they all kind of give them a pre-warning, like, hey, we're reducing rates or we're increasing rates. You can see that England basically is getting ahead of the curve here, and they just reduced their rates. So this right here is just giving the investors, even in the States, more hopium, confidence, knowing that we are going to be reducing rates. Now, one thing I did see yesterday, I was watching something, and it was on Fox Business, believe it or not, and they were saying that the investors had been for the last 2 years screaming that we want to see interest rates get cut, right? And I think what people don't understand is that they think that right when we see like this first rate cut, that it's going to be like Bitcoin's going to just freaking jump up 30%. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. Down the road, this is going to be very bullish for the markets, right? But this isn't just going to be like, oh, they just reduced 0.25%. Now we're at 5% interest rates. The markets are just going crazy, right? You might see some movement towards the upside on the day of, right? Or leading into it, the FOMC meeting that we have in September, almost like a buy the news, sell the rumor kind of event. Wait, buy the rumor, sell the news. I always get that backwards. Kind of event, but I don't see us, that being the catalyst that's going to run Bitcoin up to 100K. It could be a plus, right? But I don't see that that's going to be the actual reason why Bitcoin just all of a sudden just starts its upward trend and we start running up to 100K. I don't see that happening. So let's see here. So the Bank of England announced an interest rate cut of 0.25% down to 5% mark. This concludes one of the longest periods of heightened interest rates. And in August 1st ex post, the Bank of England announced the move to reduce interest rates. The ease was primarily driven by inflation after it saw a monumental decline from 8% to 2% over the past year. While Bitcoin price could benefit from the surprise rate cut, economists were divided on whether the bank could cut or hold rates steady. While there may be room for further ease below 5% later this year, possibly in November, the Bank of England governor wants to avoid cutting too quickly or by too much. And I told you guys this, same thing in the States. We're going to see 0.25%. If anybody's telling you anything more than 0.25% in September, they are completely lying to you, or they are completely out of, they don't understand what the hell they're talking about. And I'm say that respectfully, right? We're going to see 0.25% in September. We might see one in November or December, another 0.25%. That's going to be it for the year. 2025, you're going to start seeing more rate cuts. This is all based off of also us continuing to see the CPI reports coming in our favor as far as inflation coming down, right? If inflation, for whatever, starts ticking up a little bit, they're not going to increase rates again, but they're going to put a pause again, and they're going to let it be, let it play out, and then they're going to wait for the numbers, right? That's how they're going to do it. They're going to do it slow and steady, because I told you guys this. Back in the 80s in the States, it was like late 70s, early 80s, they did this. We were kind of going through the same situation where inflation was out of control. They reduced rates too quickly, and inflation came back, and it was far worse, right? So then they had to increase rates, by like 10, 15%. Imagine that in the late 70s and early 80s. So it was bad, and it caused the markets to crash. So let's see here. Notably, inflation is expected to creep back up from the 2% market, or the 2% mark, over the next few months. Ease in monetary policy has historically boosted risk on assets like Bitcoin, gold, yet Bitcoin price remains in a range bound. U.S. monetary policy is the real kicker. They're basically saying, it's great that England did this. It's awesome, but everybody's watching the States, right? And, that's going to be the big mover is the States, right? The U.S. dollar is is a lot stronger, even though the U.S. or the pound is worth more, right, per pound. So the Bitcoin price remains subdued below the $65,000 mark despite the UK's first rate cut in over 4 years. The sluggish price action could be attributed to the United States Federal Reserve decision to hold its key lending rate steady in August. However, Bitcoin price could see a significant new liquidity and upward momentum with the U.S. rate cut in September. According to the CME FedWatch tool, traders hold 86.5% chance that the central bank will lower its rates to 5% to 5.5 to 5 to 5.25 in September, down from the current 5.25 and 5.5. Sorry, tongue twister there. So what they're saying is in September, this was as of yesterday, they were saying that the markets are basically pricing in about 80%, 85% that they're going to reduce the rates. Look at this. Since yesterday, we've actually gone down, but we've gone down to about 69.5 that the market's calling for some kind of 1/4 to 0.5% reduction. But look at this. 30% of the market is gone mad, right? And thinking that they're going to reduce rates a half, 0.5 to 0.75 in September. That is absolutely insane. That is craziness right there. I do not believe that's going to happen. I am part of this 69. I'm part of this 69% right here that's honestly calling for a 0.25%, and that's it for September. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. But just wanted to bring this out because it's here, guys. It's here. They're going to reduce rates. We have been calling this for a long time as far as what they're going to do for it's September. It's here. It's here. It's here to stay. Other countries are starting to fall into suit as well. So we'll see how this plays out. So another article that I wanted to jump in. So Bitcoin traders eye 55K amid U.S. stock sell-off. XRP leads losses in major crypto. So one thing I wanted to jump in on and let you guys know. So what is holding this market down, guys? What's holding this market down is we're seeing the stock market right now get decimated right now. You're seeing the NASDAQ, Dow Jones, the SPX, S&P 500 all down yesterday, 1 to 2, almost 3% on some of them. DXY technically was up yesterday while all this was going on, but looks like it's kind of cooled off a little bit. But it's just what we're seeing is a lot of red flags in the economy, and also with the stock market, that you're seeing a lot of these major these big stocks, or like NASDAQ, these big collective of stocks that are dropping, right? A lot of them topped out recently, and this was in July. Now a lot of them have been steadily coming down. So this is something to keep an eye on, guys, because as much as we want to say Bitcoin is not correlated with the stock market, we really haven't been. But I'm thinking that we're starting to get back into that kind of a parallel movement with the stock market. If the stock market's going to crash, it could be two different scenarios, right? Stock market could crash, and it could bring Bitcoin and the crypto market with it, or stock market could crash and a lot of people could actually be converting into the crypto market as a safe haven while the stock market's down. So those are two different scenarios we're going to see. If I was to bet, I would say that if the stock market crashes, let's just say NASDAQ, Dow Jones, SPX, all of them see some kind of like a 10% move towards the downside, which, believe it or not, in the stock market world, that's a crash for them, right? 10%, 15% is like a major crash for them. We definitely could be weighed down, and Bitcoin could easily, like this article was saying, we could be coming down to levels that we possibly haven't seen yet. Remember, we did just drop down to about 53K briefly. What was it, a week or two ago? We could drop down even further than that if the stock market crashes. So, traditional markets from the U.S. To Japan saw declines across major indexes and stocks, with tremors seeping into the crypto market. Bitcoin rebounded from lows near 62,500 in Asian morning hours on Friday amidst a global asset sell-off entering its third day. Despite the rebound, Bitcoin remained under pressure, trading near its 50-day moving average, which is a key technical support level for traders. Bitcoin's reversed losses in Asian market hours Friday as a general sell-off across global assets continued into its third day this week, exaggerated by Middle East geopolitical tensions. And then that's another thing too, is remember, guys, what's up, Monero? We don't get into political stuff or anything like that, but we have the Middle East still kind of flared up. Now, we talked about this like 2 months ago when Israel and Iran were kind of trading blows. Now we have, supposedly Iran's going to be retaliating with Israel, whatever the case is. And the only reason why we even consider any of this stuff is because the U.S. is technically allies with Israel, right? So if something like that's to happen, it always brings that uncertainty that America could be drawn in to some kind of a conflict or an escalating conflict, because there already is a conflict over there, right? And that right there could, anytime there's war with the United States, the markets will react negatively, no matter what. Even if we're just funding a proxy or whatever the case is, you will see the U.S., the markets react negatively. So Bitcoin slumped slumped to as low as 62,500 in late U.S. trading hours on Thursday, reversing losses and trading just under 64,000. Let's see here. It's 50-day, just trading to near its 50-day moving average, which remains a tactical support line for some traders. If the decline develops, dynamics around the 63,000 and 61K levels near where the 50 and 200-day moving averages are will be important. Alex, can't even pronounce his last name, said. A failure of this support will open the way to 55K. So let's see what they're saying here. So he's saying that we trading just under 64K, dynamics around 63,000 and 61 levels near their 50 and 200. So let's pull that up real quick. So the 200-day moving average is right here, this white line, and currently right now it is the 61,000. So they're saying basically, what they're saying is if Bitcoin does continue to move towards the downside, if it breaks below the 200-day, which it actually did. Remember when we broke below the 200-day just a few weeks ago? We broke below but found some support at around the 53. They're saying that we could break below here, and if we break the $55,000 support level, which is right here, we basically broke that before. Obviously, the next level for some support would be around this 53.5. But if we come back down within, this was only 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? I believe this is July. What was this? July, the beginning of July. Man, it felt like it was only 2 weeks ago. So this was about 3 weeks ago. If we drop back down and retest these levels for Bitcoin, 53.5, we might end up breaking below, and we could be talking about a $49,000 Bitcoin. This is why I'm telling you guys, we have to be prepared for all this. I'm not saying that this is all written in stone or that it's for sure going to happen. What I'm saying is that if you follow the stock market, if you follow what's going on, economically, if you follow what's going on with the economy and stuff like that, doesn't look great right now. It does not look great right now. We have elections coming up in the next few months. Believe it or not, the elections are a bearish thing for the markets as well. Usually it tends to be the markets will slightly be down during elections for whatever reason, right? Monero says, one of my best friends is a trader in a French company. He told me that the markets are getting ready to face a heavy downfall in the coming months. Hopefully that scenario will evaporate. I hear you, but this is exactly what your friend's telling you is what I'm telling you guys as well, is that we're looking at the charts. You're looking at everything around right now, and there's just a lot of red flags that are popping up that are showing, that there's possibly there's going to be some downward movement coming, and I think it's going to be a broad movement if it does go down. Not just Bitcoin's going down, but the stock market's up. No, stock market's going down. It brings down crypto, right? The economy, it's going to bring down a lot. I'm not saying that we're about to crash or anything like that, but I'm saying that we could see, because we have in the last 2 years, 2023, so the last year, we've seen Bitcoin has gone up a crazy amount. If you look at the last year, we have moved up a lot. We really have. If you zoom out from where we came, Bitcoin has moved up a lot. And you think what we've gone through in the last few months, the last month or two, whatever, how long it's been since we've made our all-time highs. This has been the crash. I'm not sold on it yet, guys. And you guys know I've been telling you guys this. I am not bearish whatsoever, wanting to be bearish, right? I don't want to be I want the markets to thrive, right? I have money in the markets just like you guys do. But what I'm seeing and what I've seen previously on bull markets is that it tends to drop, a big chunk, for a brief time before we go and make all-time highs. People think that we've gone through these dips, these little swings that we've seen. Those were the dips, and we're like, all right, Bitcoin's ready to go. Let's go. It's set up to go to 150K. I'm not necessarily sold on that. And then a big key indicator on top of everything else we've been talking about was that Bitcoin, just recently made it up to 70K and got rejected immediately. Got rejected immediately after that, right? And then it didn't just drop down to 69K, and hang out down there. We just dropped down from 70K. We got rejected and we came all the way down to 62. That's a decent move right there. So that right there is usually a big indicator that the markets are just not ready to run up. 11% dip from that $70,000 little hit that we hit a few days ago to just yesterday last night when we hit 62K. So, the writing's on the wall, guys, that there could be potentially some more downward move. I'm just telling you guys what the news is and what I see on the charts. Take it how you want it, right? Take it how you want it. But we always want to just be prepared for both scenarios. And you might be like, well, how the hell do you prepare for both scenarios? Well, it's almost like having your 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing, right? Me personally, I am in the market, right? I do hold crypto, obviously. We have our own native token, NFK, right? I hold a big chunk of that. And then also I have other projects that I do hold on to that I haven't sold off on, that some of them I'm actually down on, right? I prepare to just leave those be, right? And add on the dip if we do see a dip. But I also have a dry powder sitting on the side for me to, just accumulate other projects that I've been waiting for if we do see some kind of a big dip. That's me. That's my scenario of being 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Instead of being all in right now and just being like diamond hands, I'm just going to wait. Obviously for like NFK, I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to do that. That's our native token for the channel, no FUD koala. I'm going to let that be. But anything else right now, I've been waiting, hesitant to buy in with anticipation that we might see a little bit more downward action, and I want to take advantage of it, right? It's all about positioning yourself. And you can hear the way I talk. I know that anything that happens is going to be short term. Short term meaning could be 2-4 months that we're down. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we're going to be moving right back up, and I do believe that we have not seen the top of this market yet. So understand that. Whew. Catch my breath. Let's drink some water. Guys, we have unemployment numbers coming out in literally 16 minutes from now. Let's finish off here and then let's look at some charts. So August is considered one of the 2 worst months for Bitcoin. Over the past 13 years, Bitcoin has ended the month up only 5 times and down 8 times. The average decline was 15.4% and the average rise was about 26%. Crypto majors fell in the past 24 hours amid weakness in global entities. Ether lost 1.6% in the past 24 hours, while major tokens like XRP and Solana dipped as much as 8%. The broad base CoinDesk 20 CD20, a liquid index tracking the largest tokens by market capitalization minus stablecoins, was down 2.4%. This broad sell-off in Bitcoin has felt in some of the Bitcoin exchanges traded funds, according to market data. While the U.S. listed Bitcoin ETF had total daily net inflows of $50 million. So they're saying while we're dipping even right now, you're seeing a lot of inflows still coming in for at least the Bitcoin ETFs. And I don't say a lot, it's $50 million in inflows, nothing too crazy, but you're still seeing even Wall Street's technically eating the dip. And that might be what I was talking about, how people, because the stock market has been down the last few days, people might be moving their assets from traditional markets like Tesla, NASDAQ, S&P, the Dow Jones, and moving it into Bitcoin right now, thinking that they're going to ride Bitcoin out while the stock market possibly has a retracement of 10 or 15%. Remember, stock market has been at all-time highs and continuously doing that for the last few months, right? It's only inevitable that eventually it was going to see some kind of a cool off, whether it's brief or if that was the top for the market. I highly doubt that was the top though, but we'll see. So meanwhile, Ethereum's ETF collectively posted net inflows of 26.7 million, although many registered zero flows. The technology heavy NASDAQ 100 ended Thursday with a 2.6 loss. That's a big move right there. And the S&P 500 index sank 1.4%. Losing nearly all of Wednesday's 1.6 gains on concerns around the U.S. economy and future earnings of technology firms. Elsewhere, Japan's Topix index dropped 6% on Friday to mark its biggest fall since 2016. In a note shared by CoinDesk, Presto Research highlighted MicroStrategy's MSTR standout performance in second quarter of 2024 due to its 3.7% Bitcoin per share increase. intelligent leverage, a planned $2 billion equity offering for Bitcoin purchases, and adoption of fair value accounting for Bitcoin for the first quarter of 2025, which will benefit the broader Bitcoin market. So what they're saying is MicroStrategy, obviously, majority of their investments is through Bitcoin, right? And the last 6 months, Bitcoin has moved up, so their stock has moved up. They're recording their earnings up, right? Obviously, because Bitcoin's been up. Also, another thing too is what they're saying is that they're going to be buying more Bitcoin in the first quarter of 2025 as well. So we'll see how this up. And it says year to date, MicroStrategy is up 118%, while Bitcoin is up 45%. So those are the news articles for today, guys. Let's jump into the charts. Welcome everybody. Good morning, guys. I know it's freaking early. Make sure you guys are hitting those likes. We have, 4 likes? I'm going to end the damn show right now, guys. I swear. Just end this show right now. I'm sitting here trying to give you guys the sauce. Come on. Jasmy, what's going on? Make sure you guys hit those likes. Come on. Sheesh. Thank you, whoever just hit the like. I really appreciate that. 1 freaking like. There you go. I appreciate it, guys. Only takes a second. So Bitcoin, we just covered Bitcoin. Solana, got hit yesterday, nothing too crazy. Looking at the market, so for today, majority of the market's going to be down, right? We have Jasmy down 2.7 cents, still holding pretty strong in my opinion. Still holding pretty strong. PEPE is down. Let me fix this fib retracement on PEPE. Still looking like it's holding pretty strong. And this is what I've been telling you guys, is that even though Bitcoin has been down, the markets feel like we're on a bearish kind of a surrounding time right now. Alts honestly have been holding pretty strong. I'm telling you guys, compared to what we normally would see, the alts still look like they're holding pretty friggin' strong, in my opinion. Solana was down a good bit, right? I mean, it was down a good bit, but Solana is a little bit more like freaking Bitcoin. It's going to run with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's getting hit, you're going to see Solana coming down. You're going to see Ethereum. They're going to run with Bitcoin. But a lot of these alts, that don't run necessarily parallel exactly with Bitcoin, have been holding pretty strong, in my opinion. Let's see here. So Solana's at 164, like we already said. Not too bad. Nice little W pattern that's forming right there. So we'll see how that plays out. Milady, come down. She's came down a considerable amount, down to right there at that 10 mark. Still waiting for a good time to really get an entry back into this project, and I'm waiting to see if she's gonna basically gain a zero, is what I'm looking for. Let's pull up some market caps real quick. So Milady's market cap right now is at 78 million. It has dropped down like crazy. Yazriel said, "What is Crow with Knife?" What is Crow with Knife? So Crow with Knife is it's like a bigger meme coin in the DeFi space for Cronos, for Crypto.com's ecosystem. It's technically up 9%, but that's because it got hit so hard yesterday. Excuse me, no Diddy. This thing dropped down to the abyss at around the 38. Probably was a good little time to jump in on Call with Knife with Crow with Knife right here. Let's look at yesterday. If you guys remember, we were looking at the all of Cronos, and Cronos was, a sea of freaking red yesterday. It was bad. You can see we're seeing a little bit of a retracement. Call leading the way at about 9%. Mary up about 1%. Nothing too crazy. What is this call? So it really, still, if you're looking at the 24 hours, majority of these Chrono DeFi projects are all still in the red. They're all still in the red. We just have some that are trying to retrace. I already told you guys about Call. Call, I still do think it needs to come down a little bit more, right? A little bit more. But it's going to start intriguing people to come in on the project, because now it's getting to these price levels that are people like, oh, hell yeah. Look how cheap Call is right now. I'm going to jump in. This is what it needs to kind of activate that hype, get people talking about Call right now. But I will say, regardless of whatever's going on, and if you can get some short-term hype coming into Call, if the traditional market like Bitcoin and the rest of the big wigs as far as in the crypto space are down, or they're still, looking very very bearish. This is only going to be a short-term move, and it's going to continue probably on its downward move. I told you guys last week, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, if Bitcoin continues to go down, you're going to see a lot of the DeFi space start selling off as well. It's inevitable. It's what's going to happen. And then you better believe that Bitcoin starts running back up, money's going to be coming right back into the DeFi space. So real quick, guys, we do have about 8 minutes until the unemployment numbers are coming out. We did cover this at the beginning right here. So we're forecast to be about 4.1%. Previous was 4.1. So if we hit 4.1, I'm honestly thinking it's going to be just a big nothing burger. If we do exceed that 4.1, 4.2 or higher, it's going to be probably causing some positive movement in the markets. And then obviously if unemployment for whatever reason trickles down to 4% or lower, it's going to be negative for the market. And you're asking, Crip, why is that? Well, the Feds, they want to see unemployment continue to move towards the upside, unfortunately, right? I'm sorry if that affects anybody that you know or anything like that. It does stink, but they are looking for unemployment to continue to go towards the upside for them to have confidence on reducing interest rates. So with that being said, if unemployment comes out and it is higher than last month or higher than forecast, the